Well, thanks everybody for taking your time to be with us today. Hope you learn a lot, and I'm sure you will. Today is the first day after Labor Day. We're all probably scattered across the country. Debbie and I went 4 hours away to another town to visit relatives, and we had a good time. We're back here today, and for those of you who don't know Marcelo, he is the owner and the founder of Thrivalist.com. That many of you probably, or I know some of you already just said a few minutes ago that you've been buying those sample packs. Debbie and I have personally tasted everything and love it. It's a high quality product. But Marcelo wants you to say hi, introduce yourself.
You bet. Hi, everybody. Marcelo, I think you've already talked a little bit about me, but do you want me to give a little bit more of a background or what would you like
Sure,
me to
please.
do?
Yeah, what
Okay.
inspired you to
What
create
is what?
what inspired you to create Thrivalist?
I didn't expect to. It was something that I'll go back a little bit. I used to be director of entrepreneur development for the state of Utah. I've done over 30 companies. I love doing businesses that help people. I early in my career, I was like, let's make money. And I got to a point where like, this doesn't feel good. Like everybody, you look at a person, you're like, oh, I can make money from them. And and I got bored of that. I didn't like it anymore. And so after a while, I was like, how can I do businesses where the purpose is more important than the people? Or I'm sorry, the people are more important. I'm sorry, the purpose is more important than the profit. The people are more important than the profit, and the mission is more important than the money. And I feel like if you do that and you love what you do, you can make any business successful, right? They say when you find your people, you find your purpose, right? And there's a level of living where if you just kind of do business and go for money, you get very dissatisfied very quickly. But if you do business, but you have a way of raising up your life and other people's lives, you can do it forever. It doesn't get boring. It becomes amazing. And what happened is, if you were to go back about 15 years ago, I had some entrepreneur friends of mine who were very, very wealthy. And they came up to me out of the blue, and I still don't know why they did. I mean, they just called me and they said, Marcelo, they said, you pick a team, you pick a business you want to go after, and we'll fund 100% of it. You just tell us how much money you need. And I hadn't had that before happen to me because I've always had to raise money, put together a business plan. They didn't even have a written contract. Up to this day, 15 years later, we don't have a written contract, and they're my best friends. And we ended up moving forward. And at the time, I didn't plan on going into emergency preparedness. I planned on doing something totally different, put a team together, and I told one of my teammates, Ryan, I said, hey, I'm going to get on the internet and find a company we can purchase so we can get started quicker. And because we had unlimited funds, why not, And I went to the internet, and something as clear as day said, from a little bit above, right? Said do emergency food storage, and I didn't expect that. And so I ended up finding a company on there, offering the guy. He didn't want to sell it, and he said it's not for sale. And I said not for any price. And he said, well, if you paid me this much, I'd sell it. And I go, okay, let's do it. And he's like, what? He didn't expect that. But telling the story a little bit further, about 5 years ago, I talked to him again, and he says, you have no clue that that exact amount of money blessed my family in ways that we would have never seen. And it was the exact amount we needed. And I didn't know that, he didn't know that, but somebody else knew that, right? Somebody above me, right? And so, with that in mind, what about 10 years later or whatever, Thrivalist was born. And that was born out of necessity, but also out of, I would say, out of help from, somebody bigger and better than me above, right? Do you want me to give you a little bit more of the story where that came? I can go a little deeper if you want.
Sure, go ahead, and then I'll
Okay,
start asking you questions.
you bet. So to give a little bit of feel where Thrivalist actually began, I got into emergency preparedness, not so much. Let me back up. I was into survival. That's a better way to put it. I was doing survivalist classes. I was being trained by some of the best, getting out there, learning how to live off the land. And that was a really cool thing to do as a single person. I was a minimalist at home. I didn't have emergency preparedness supplies. I didn't grow up in an emergency preparedness family. I cannot tell you one time in all my growing up years until I started doing this that I ever heard my family even mention emergency preparedness. I didn't grow up in a bunker, nothing like that. Okay. When I ended up getting married to my wife, I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this. I knew it wasn't about me anymore. I had somebody else to worry about, somebody besides me. And when I ended up having my little baby girl, Ember, okay, and then later on my little baby boy, Enoch, holding those two kids in my arms, uh, leveled leveled up my life to this is definitely not about you. This is about somebody, other people more important than you in a sense, right? And at that point, I ended up taking emergency preparedness seriously. So this was about 15 years ago. I'm in my 15th year of marriage. I knew a lot about survival at the time, but preparedness I knew a little bit about. But I ended up diving into it like none other. I ended up getting on YouTube and learning everything I could, and I probably spent about 1,000 hours learning everything I could. Now I look back now and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, 1,000 hours of other people's experience, right? Getting on there and learning about their experiences, not mine. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my goodness, 90% of the stuff I was learning on YouTube was wrong, but nobody knew it because some big guru will learn information from a marketing company and they're trying to sell their product. So they tell the story they want him to tell, and then he tells it. And now all the other little gurus end up telling the same story because he must know what he's talking about, right? And so I didn't know that at the time. It's not like some of the people who are on here who actually do their research, right? And don't trust clever marketing. But I ended up spending about 1,000 hours. I was the pro. Everybody looked at me. Everybody wanted to learn more. And around 15 years ago, we were going through some tough times. You remember 2007, 2008? Remember all that stuff? Do you remember everybody talking about the 2012 prophecy, right? The Mayans, Incas. I didn't think anything, the world was going to end, right? But all those movies coming out and stimulus packages and everybody worried about a depression. And so there was a little bit of motivation for my family and friends to get prepared. And guess who they turned to? Me, because I'm the one who had 1,000 hours of other people's experiences. Now, fast forward, I'm 20 to 30,000 hours of real world experience, hundreds of thousands of dollars in dumb mistakes just to learn what I've learned. It's not other people's experiences, it's my experiences. I've had to learn. ChatGPT can't teach what I know. There's no way. I've tried. Can't find it. And so what happened at the time is everybody turned to me and I said, "Awesome, I'll tell you what to do." And there was two companies that were really big in the market. One was selling in Costco and one was selling locally that you guys would know the names if I said them. And at least one of them, the second one at least. And what happened is I got duped not once, but twice. And I didn't know it. I ended up buying it. They had a great deal. They said freeze-dried foods up to 25 years, up to 20 years, all this stuff. And I didn't know that up to is just a gimmick for most companies out there. They're putting out really cheap foods with lots of bad claims, right? And the FDA doesn't stop it. And so what happened is I ended up getting duped by these two companies. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation. I'm sure most of you guys have been in a situation where you got duped to the point where it not only broke your confidence once, but you'd get duped again. Man, I just don't know who to trust anymore. And at that point, you're just so upset. But what made me upset isn't that I got duped. It's that my family, my mom, my brother, all these other families, my friends, and everybody spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because of my advice, because I believed those companies. And that stunk. And I decided not to trust any more marketing, but I'm going to go dig deep and find out the science behind everything. I'm not going to trust one more message because you go online, you guys, almost anytime you see an emergency preparedness product that has a lot of advertising behind it, you can almost guarantee that that is a cheap product with a huge margin, or else that company would not be able to advertise as much as they advertise. And when they advertise and everybody sees their names everywhere, right? All of a sudden you think it must be the best company, but it's usually the cheapest company. And you wouldn't know who the best companies are because they're horrible at marketing. I know who they are because I'm in the industry. They're just not good. They're amazing manufacturers, but they're horrible at marketing. But then you got marketers come in and they say, "Hey, we can make a lot of money with food, or we can make a lot of money with straw filters, or we can make them." They just go on and on and on. And they know that, this straw filter might cost them literally 75 cents to make and they sell it for 20 bucks. There's some pretty good margins for we're marketing at that point. And it's not the best product. I mean, it's cheap, 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 right? So the thing about it is I stopped trusting all this stuff and I started going forward. Now, most of you can probably relate to me where something bad happens in your life, but it turns into something good later. Does that make sense to you guys? Can I get some nods? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Changes your life for good later on because of your perspective. And that's what happened to me. And I started digging deep. I remember after I learned all this stuff, we ended up growing to top three on the internet in the world for my company. And we were selling all over the world. We were selling to Australia and Europe and just everywhere. It was fun. It was amazing. Sending pallets and pallets and pallets of stuff, right? And I had a company called me up after I knew a little bit more, and they said, "Hey, you're top three. Why don't you sell our food on your website and we'll give you huge affiliate commissions?" We're talking about 60, 70% commissions. And that tells you a lot about how cheap their food was, by the way. And I said, "Not a chance." And they said, "Why?" I said, "First of all, you're saying that you're giving a month's worth of food, but have you calculated it? You're talking about 500 to 600 calories per day per person when they need about 2,000 calories per day per person." That sales guy, he had the guts to say, "Well, that's not a problem. All you have to do is triple, quadruple, or just, quadruple the amount of servings in one day and you'll get enough calories." And I said, "Well, that's stupid." First of all, it's saying it's a month's worth of supply of food, and now all of a sudden that just took it down to, to what? A month divided by four, right? What is that? 7? That took it to a week, right? And I'm not going to have more than a week. That's stupid. I mean, second of all, if I do that, now I'm up to 5 to 6,000 milligrams of salt. And I can either pick my poison. I don't get enough calories and I die, or I get hypertension from too much sodium and I die. Pick your poison. And I not a chance I would sell that, not for money. You know, if a family were to depend on that during an emergency and a little kid dies because of that, I don't care if you cannot pay me $1 billion for that. And so I told the company, no, not a chance. So
Marcelo,
anyway, go ahead.
once we tell people how you select what products you do sell,
You bet.
I was impressed by that. A lot of people who are on here from Thrive know that Thrive actually tastes and measures the size of pieces and had a high standard before they would let it come beyond their label. Will you tell people how you make your decisions here?
You bet. And by the way, I'm going to joke a little bit here, because, not joke, but open up myself. I'm ADD. And today is an ADD day for me. I was on my team call and I said, "Guys, I'm really struggling with ADD and I'm going to be on with all these people. And I'm really struggling today. My ADD is everywhere. I need to focus." And they said some prayers for me. So I just got to let you guys know I am so sorry if I go off a little bit. I kind of go off feelings a lot of time. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I talk about it. But I'm going to answer your two questions really quickly. Thrivalist came around because there was a need in the market. There's preppers and survivalists. Preppers, a lot of people don't want to be known as a prepper, so they don't even start getting prepared because they don't want to be known as a hoarder. And a lot of people don't want to be known as survivalists because they don't want to be known as a militant or a minimalist. They don't want to be known as a fanatic. Thrivalist came around because people need a middle ground. That's not a negative word, prepper, survivalist. Now, I'm a prepper, I'm a survivalist. I'm not cutting down preppers or survivalists here. But there is a middle ground where you bring the right supplies as a prepper and the right skills as a survivalist, and you bring them together in a middle ground where you can get better prepared in 90 days or less by knowing the right supplies and skills without going overboard than you can be prepared in 10 to 15 years. That's a thrivalist. A thrivalist equals sensible preparedness. Okay. Now, when we get to our foods, the way we've done our foods is we get foods from all over the world. We're not tied to any foods, just to let you know. We get foods from all over the world, and if we get like 4 different banana chips, freeze-dried bananas, I don't tell my team, my workers, my team. I don't like even calling them workers. My team, I don't tell them where it's from and I don't tell them the price. I just give them the nutrition facts if they need it or whatever, and I have them go through it. They taste it, they smell it, they check the crunchiness, they check the dryness level, look at the nutrition. They say, "Marcel, this one's number one. It's the best." But it's this one right here, number two, is really close. So guess what we do? Number one, number two, maybe number three. Because what happens in the industry is if you have one supplier and we go through a 2020, guess what happens to food? You can't get any more. So we have backups, but we know which ones are one, two, and three. Now somebody brings a better food to us and says, hey, by the way, this broccoli is better than anything I've ever tasted. Now we know that's possible. So we dig deep and find out where did they get the broccoli, right? And then we go and replace our broccoli with a better one. And that's what we've done. That's been our culture. Now, in the industry, there's some things about food that I can go on literally for about 2 hours on food alone, easily on two for I can go on for an hour on the gimmicks in food alone. Okay. And what happens in the industry is you get if you go to Amazon and search out, like for example, freeze-dried strawberries, because I got this in front of me. If you look at the reviews on Amazon, you're going to see 4 stars on average, 4 stars, 4.5. And you look at all the pictures of people opening up the cans, and they are literally about that filled. But they're still giving 4 and 5 stars because they think that's normal in our industry. It's not normal in our industry. That's a gimmick. What happens is people end up looking at the net weight and they go, okay, strawberries, I might get a strawberry today and it's really dense, right? It comes from a farm and it's really condensed. And the next time I get a strawberry and it's really fluffy, right? And it fills up the can to the top. So they go, let's do this. Let's not ever take a chance. Let's go to about right there, about 2 inches down. That's going to be a very unfluffy strawberry, a very non-dense strawberry, in case we get a strawberry that's even less dense. Okay, just in case. And so therefore, let's put a weight there. And then what happens is that weight becomes the key to how much you fill up a can. So what happens now is you get a really dense strawberry, and what happens? It's down to literally less than half a can, but it's the same weight. And then they put on the back, 24 half cup servings, because that's what it can fit. It's 24 half cup servings. Okay. They'll put 24 half cup servings, but it's down to here. That's not 24 half cup servings. So the FDA doesn't care if we go over this weight. They just don't want us going under the weight. So what I tell my team is let's price it. Let's look at this and fill up the can to the top. And then if we need to adjust the prices once in a while, let's do it, right? But let's fill up the can. And if we go over the weight, who cares? Because I want full cans in my closet. I want full cans in my basement, in my motor home. Okay. I want full cans. I don't want to taking up precious space without doing that. So that's what we do. And when it settles about an inch or so down because that's what happens. You move it around, it falls, right? And everything else. But now you're getting really full cans and it's over the weight almost every single time. So we do all these little things, lined cans. If you don't line the cans, tastes and smells like metal. And I can go on and on and on. But what we do is we try to always shoot for what is the best for our families. Therefore, what is the best for everybody else's families, and never treat our families and their families different. They're the same. Makes sense?
Let me ask you a quick question. So, you do a lot of freeze dry. You also do dehydrated. Can you talk about why you have a mix and
Yeah,
can you
it's such a
specifically
big.
tell the story about the sweet potatoes?
Absolutely. Do you have any sweet potatoes or apples? Any of you guys have any of the samples there? If you can hold them up and show people, that would be awesome if anyone has any of those. What happens in our industry is people think the freeze dried is the best. It is not the best. Again, I can give you a whole big lesson on this. When it comes to food for emergencies and daily eating, you got to look at a lot of factors, including sugar. Freeze-dried foods is going to go soft very quickly with the sugar in it. You're going to have some foods, for example, freeze-dried versus dehydrated sweet potatoes. Let me just give you that example. When you look at a freeze-dried sweet potato, and by the way, they say sweet, and that's a little bit of a misnomer because you go taste it and you go, that's not that sweet. It's a potato. Okay. It's a potato, you guys. But because they call it sweet, it's not always sweet. But ours have a little bit of sweetness to it, so it makes it a plus. But the sweet potatoes have a ton of nutrients in them as well. When you look at a can of freeze-dried sweet potatoes. Okay, it's awesome. You can pull it out, you can eat it straight from the can. Everything's good. But you're talking roughly about 70 calories or less per half cup of sweet potatoes. If you were to take the same thing in a dehydrated sweet potato, half cup is about 270, close to 300 or so calories per half cup of sweet potatoes. Plus, the nutrients in the dehydrated sweet potatoes blow away the nutrients in the freeze dried. You'd think it'd be the opposite. But now you're getting 5 times, 4 or 5 times, probably four, close to 5 times the amount of potatoes in a can than you would be getting in the freeze dried. It's just you can't pull them out of the can and eat them or you'll break your teeth. So what you do is you throw them in water for about 2 hours. They get soft and then heat them up if you want to. You don't even have to at that point. But if you want to heat them up for 10 minutes and bring it to a boil and simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, you got some very, very extremely nutritious food for an emergency. And in emergencies, you don't want popular, you want right. In an emergency, you're not looking for, oh, this is the coolest thing in the world. I'll just pop myself some freeze-dried Skittles all day long. It's not going to work. It's going
Tell
to
them who your customer is that's a big fan of your sweet
be
potato.
or the dehydrated sweet potatoes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So with the Navy SEALs, they can pick anything they wanted to. Okay, they got their own credit cards, by the way. And out of all the foods they could have picked, the number one seller is our dehydrated sweet potatoes. That's what they wanted the most. And I talked to them. I said, guys, aren't you out there? That's heavy. I mean, you put it in your rucksacks and you're like trying to get through the forest and everything. They're like, oh, it's not like that. They said a lot of times we're stationed and we got cooks and everything else and we wait for deployment. I said, oh, cool. That's awesome. Wow. I didn't know that. My vision of Navy SEALs was totally different. But they loved it. In fact, our number one seller in the store out of all the freeze dried and everything else in we have the largest emergency preparedness retail store in Utah. That's one of the businesses I have. Okay, I have the longest lasting emergency water in the world as well, and a whole bunch of other things that I've had to cut my teeth on. Our number one seller is dehydrated sweet potatoes. And people wouldn't know that because it's not popular. It's the right thing to do, not the popular thing to do. If you have apples, do you have those apples there by chance? Anybody? You look at the apples. We have the dehydrated apples. Guess what color they are? They're brown. And everyone's like, oh, they're brown. Yeah. Ugh. I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. They're brown. That's amazing. Okay. They don't have sulfur added to it and it's not labeled. People a lot of times don't even put that in the ingredients, but it doesn't have sulfur. It's natural and it's still crispy and it's down to close to just, oh, there, right there. Do you see that? Ceci or Cece? How do you say it?
Cece.
Cece. Okay, Cece right there. She's got the dehydrated apples. Do you see how they're brown? But they're still super low in moisture. I mean, they're crunchy, and you're getting probably about 5 or more times the amount of apples in a dehydrated can of apple bits. I want to change them. They're chips right now, but told my team those are bits. You got to change it to bits, so they're going to be bits. So anyway, you're getting probably 5 or more times the amount of apples in a can of dehydrated apple bits than you would with a fluffy um, freeze-dried apple that takes up so much space. So during an emergency, which one do you want? Right?
The highest nutrition.
Highest nutrition, highest amount of foods for the best price, right? And it stinks for us because all these dehydrated things are heavy. And guess what? We lose a lot of money in shipping. I would sell freeze-dried all day long if all I wanted was money. But there are so many dehydrated foods that are so good for you and so amazing that we put those in there as well as the freeze dried. And we've done the picking. We know what's better dehydrated. We know what's better freeze dried.
Marcelo, there's a mixed bag of people on this call. There's some that are Thrive and come from Thrive and only understand foods dehydrated and freeze dried. That's it.
Yeah.
But you're a whole suite of things in the preparedness world. Can you talk about some other products that they could find on your site that
Yeah, you bet.
so they can also move as a affiliate member, and then when you get through that, talk about how anybody who has never tried your product can and what they can get for $29.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. I'll show you guys in just a minute if you guys want. So first of all, Thrive was a freeze dried primarily, and then they brought in, they got rid of, they had dehydrated, they got rid of it from what I remember, and then they brought in some of the dehydrated, like quick cook beans and everything else. I've been on several meetings with a person who you guys would know that I don't know if I'm allowed to mention. Um, I think I am, but I'm not sure. But you guys probably know who he is from um, a company you guys just worked with. And we've been on lots and lots of calls, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, the meetings we've had, you're doing this right. You got the whole gamut of things. You got the education, you have the emergency preparedness products. Right now, we put on a few emergency preparedness products on the site. I'll just show you real quick if I can share. I'm going to send a request to share. We put a couple emergency preparedness products on the site, not because they're the best, just to show you we're able to do that. We put a couple water things on there, not because it's always the best, but because we're able to do that. We put on different things, education on there, not because it's the best, because we're able to do that. We're showing you guys where we're going to go, but we need time to make sure that we have the margins to pay out affiliate commissions and still ship and pay for shipping and everything else. So we haven't put everything on there yet, but I'll pull it up real quick. Uh, Let's go this. Let's go to, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just use this one right here. We'll go to Thrivalist. This Thrivalist wasn't up about a month ago or so. This is brand new. We had to put it up very quickly for you. So if you see any bugs, just let us know about it. We're doing the best we can. But if you notice right here, we have food, and there's a lot more things in food that I haven't put on here, by the way. This is just a small taste. There's things that, you guys would love. Water, survival, education, survival, for example. And by the way, we might do a little promo coming up in the next week on these two things right here. And if you understood how amazing these two are, I told my team, look at the margin, see if there's any way we can give a promotion for September. These two are awesome. Remind me in a minute if we have time, and I'll explain why. Okay, reusable sleeping bag and poncho. They're different than the emergency blankets, which I would say never get an emergency blanket. Doesn't make any sense. But if you go up right here, you got special sample food offer and this special sample food pick right here. You click on this, and we're going to give you all of these to test out dehydrated and freeze dried foods. And we're throwing in a $600 course for free. And we're giving you access. This isn't on here. We're giving you access to Thrivalist Nation, which we usually would pay. Members in the past have had to pay for our memberships. We're letting people log on to that for free and be a part of that. So what that means is you come in here and you look at Thrivalist Nation. You have a whole discussion place where people are able to do announcements, introductions. Here's Katrine Planty from New York, and everybody able to talk to each other. We got 203 members already in here over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think 2 weeks. And we got questions. You can put wins. This right here is if you're an affiliate, you have a place right here for affiliates only. So if it's private affiliate information that customers shouldn't see, because all of this is for everyone, then you can go in here and you can post things as well. We got our learning in here. And now what I was telling you about is that when you get this little sample pack right here, you get the 597 course. This course right here, 5-day preparedness challenge, this is amazing because you get about 25 hours of me and a whole bunch of experts I brought in, some of the top experts, people from the show alone, people from YouTube superstars, all these different people speaking with me. Where I speak for the first hour, they come in and speak with me. First hour, they come speaking with me. The reason we put this together, and I tell a lot of stories at the beginning because some people are just starting out, and if I tell too much meat, they get overwhelmed. By day 3, I'm giving a lot of meat. So a lot of stories build up, a lot of meat by this day. But the stories that I bring in with here's, for example, you can see David Nisha from the show alone. He was on the show alone twice. Him and I talking right here. Krista, who almost died in China from starvation, but she had food all around her. And I tell about that story, right? But there's all these different teachings in here. Plus, I end up giving a whole bunch of extra classes for free. If you look down here, look at all these free classes I throw in. Okay. That's what I'm giving people as part of the $29 offer. And I would say take advantage of it while it's still up, while you can. I know a lot of you are affiliates here, and I haven't been able to send out this email yet just because of time. But what I'm doing is anybody who has become an affiliate or anybody who signs up an affiliate as an affiliate, we're going to do it for about a week, but we're still launching Canada, so I'm extending it. But this Thrivalist live classes, the lifetime version of this is $500. Is if anyone joins the affiliate program, I'm throwing this in for free. It's not our $3,000 to $12,000 program right here that has literally 296 videos in there to go through a bunch of stuff that teaches you anything and everything you want to learn. Okay. This right here is our classes that we do every, couple weeks or so. And we've had to take a little break because of all the stuff going on lately, but we're starting to do the classes every 2 to 4 weeks again. But this has the live classes you can attend, and you get the recordings of them for life. Okay, well worth over $500. In fact, we should probably raise the price much higher than $500. But you have the top expert in salt that I know, the top person in clay that I know. You have the top persons in tents that I know. Here is the best gun trainer in the world. He's about 80 years old. He is the best gun trainer in the world. He guarded 4 U.S. presidents, trained people like Steven Seagal and his family, just a whole bunch of stuff. That's the type of information we're giving for free right now in our promotion for people who want to become Thrivalist members. But that gives you just a little overview. And by the way, we'll be adding a bunch more. This is just the beginning.
That leads, you said something there that leads me into something I want you to tell the group here. Canada is now available to ship to, correct?
It is, yeah. So while we're working on bringing other products and getting the USD clearance to do a few other things that you guys will be excited about that I'm not allowed to talk about here. Um, while we're doing that, we're putting on the products that we're allowed to ship to you right now. And as we get more of the allowance from the government, we'll allow you guys to get more and more stuff. But right now, that's what's happening right now.
So if those of you that haven't gone to and registered as a affiliate, get a hold of whoever got you to this call or whoever you know as your upline and Thrive. Get a link from them and get registered and get that $29 samples kit and take that course. It's really
Absolutely.
worth your time. It's a heck of a deal.
Absolutely. And if you want to become an affiliate, we'll give you that other course for free. So you'll get that. Um, any other questions? I mean, I don't know if I'm okay opening it up. If anybody has any questions, I can spend a few minutes
Yeah,
on
let's go to Q&A and then wrap this up because I really don't want to have a 2 hour call.
Absolutely.
Let's keep it down to under an hour, which is another 20 minutes.
Yep. Uh, Tim Tisme, I like your name. Wow. Janet Tisme.
Hi
Um,
there.
hi.
So I am an affiliate, but my question is this, is there a time limit? Do I need to do that course within a certain amount of time?
Great question. On our other program, we gave people 5 days or they lost it. On you guys, you get it for life. You don't have a time limit.
Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Just unmute and speak. You guys can unmute yourselves.
Boy, this is easy. I don't have to answer anything. But
So if
Question.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Sharon.
I was just saying, I bought my sample pack through the person that referred me instead
Yeah.
of through myself.
Yeah.
But when I tried to get in for my 5-day course, it was saying I didn't have it. So,
Yeah, just reach out to our team and
okay,
go to info@thrivalist.com. So info@thrivalist.com. If somebody can type that in the chat and just write our team and then they'll get that fixed for you. That's really easy. Just show them that you got it.
great.
Okay.
Thanks.
And by the way, just to
So,
let you guys know, with the samples, again, we weren't planning on doing this business. We didn't have any pre-printed pouches from a long time ago or anything like that. You guys are getting what we can give you right now until we can pre-print pouches, which takes about 6 weeks. But just to let you know, if you can be patient with my team a little bit, they're not marketers. They're down to earth, prepping, loving, amazing Thrivalists. Okay, and they're trying to do the best they can. And so if there weren't labels on the foods before, and they're like, oh, we got to put labels, so then they did that, and then somebody said we need directions. Oh, let's do directions. They are amazing, and just be patient with us while we navigate a whole new business when we weren't planning on it. Okay.
We got a
Go ahead.
question in here. Our question was, if I want to be a affiliate, what's it cost me to sign up with you to be an affiliate?
A whole bunch of nothing. It's clean. It's completely free.
There you go.
You get it.
Lynn, you got your answer. And somebody else asked the question you have already answered, so I'll just reiterate it, is
Yeah.
if you buy the $29 sample kit and get the $597 course, yes, the course is yours for life.
Yeah. You
It's
guys
not
get to
on a
use it for life.
timetable.
And we're giving you Thrivalist Nation, where typically we used to charge for that. We're
Okay,
letting you guys have that. We don't know the price of what that is, $300 or whatever we're giving you for life, but you get to be part of our network.
you can go there and grow your knowledge base in getting ready.
Yeah.
I know I spend a lot of money buying books and other things and
Yeah.
watching videos and learning stuff. He's got it neatly laid out for you and probably in the right order that you should take the information in. So you're not taking
Yeah.
really
And
advanced stuff and then, yeah.
even more than that, I mean, if you were to, so the Thrivalist course, and sorry, I'll answer this question, but come back. Go ahead. You had your hands raised up, so you get to go.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay, so on behalf of the Canadians, I was watching the site every single day, and every single day it said coming soon, and then one day it was there. So I ordered. I'm so excited to get my samples. But I have to say that every couple of days there's an improvement made, either on your site or with your packaging or something like that. Or if there's ever been any trouble, I've reached out to one of your team and it's like instant fix. I
Thank you.
am so impressed with how much you are listening. And I haven't tried anything yet, but it's on its way. But my question is,
Mhm.
um, do you have any plans for purchase more and get a better deal on shipping? Because I did just order the sample pack because when I put a handful of things in my cart, the shipping was, well, as you can imagine,
Yeah.
pretty intense. So do you have any plans for like if you purchase over X amount, there might be a better deal on shipping?
So what we did is we followed what Thrive was doing because that's as much as we knew how to do. And if you come down to here and you do a subscribe and save, then anything over $99, you're going to get free shipping. Now for Canada, oof, I don't know the answer for that. I think whatever Thrive did before is what I told my team to do. Does that make sense? So
Okay.
if Canada got free shipping over 99, then you're supposed to get free shipping as well.
There's a chance that I didn't hit the subscribe and save because I had about $400 in my cart and my shipping was like 60 some dollars. So I'm going to go back. Maybe I didn't hit the subscribe and save. So I will definitely check that out. And
Okay.
if it's showing that it's not, then I'll just screenshot it and send it to Celeste because that's who
Okay.
I've been to. But maybe I didn't hit it and that would be great.
Okay, perfect. And it should be working. If it doesn't, please let our team know as quickly as possible. Okay, and then we can help you out there. Have her if you ended up paying some extra money, have her throw a few things in extra for you. Okay.
I didn't go through with it because I thought maybe it just hadn't been sorted out yet. So I'll go back
Okay.
in later.
Yeah, let us know. Okay. Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, I just joined the subscribe and save because I want it for myself, but also because I want to be able to tell my customers about it. And so far, it's not working right from what I can see because
Oh,
I see my next subscription for next month, and there's no way to change it. There is a button that says add new items or search new items, and when I click on there, the only thing it allows me to add is wheat.
can you do a screenshot for me, Bill, and can you send that to me personally? And
Uh,
it should be on when you log into the back end, you should be able to alter it just like you did with Thrive. And you're not seeing that, right?
I'm not, well, I see the button, but when I say to alter it, the only thing it allows me to do is add wheat to it.
Oh,
So, but I,
seriously?
okay, yeah.
Send me a
But
screenshot. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll send that to you.
Okay. And I can get that to my team to get that
They call
changed.
that a glitch.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about it is you put it out there and you learn what didn't work, right? As soon as people tell you. But
Right.
Bill, thank you for bringing that up and letting me know.
Yep.
We can get that fixed pretty quickly.
Feel
And
free
by
to
the way,
unmute and ask Marcelo questions. We're going to wrap this up otherwise.
Okay, and I'll bring up two other things if you don't mind.
Please go ahead.
You guys, that wheat deal is an amazing deal. We put it on there. That is the best wheat I've ever gotten. If you understand anything about wheat, I'll just give you a quick little lesson so you guys understand. Wheat can be sprouted, it can be ground, you can make bread out of it. There's ways of doing wheat where you can do 100 different types of wheat, recipes with one different types of bread, like rolls and pizza and everything, with one little tiny simple recipe. And guess where that recipe is? It's in your Thrivalist Live. The best authority in bread teaches you how to do it right there on the spot. And the interesting thing about it is wheat, during an emergency, you can do so much with it. Now, this is organic wheat. I drove out to the farms, which was far away, because I don't trust anyone. I wanted to see it, look at the farm. I wanted to look at the wheat, organic, and then I took bags of it and I went and tested it with what's it called? The testers. I forget what it's called. It's the state tech inspection centers. That's what it is. And the wheat that I found was like, oh my goodness, this is blowing my mind. This is the most amazing wheat I've ever seen. And so, just to give you a feel, there are 10 things that they test for. Four of those things you'd be interested in. One of them is the dryness level. If it goes under 12%, you can store it for a long period of time, and you don't have to have an oxygen absorber because the bugs can't eat it. There's a reason why wheat can stay in silos for as long as they do, and they don't get eaten by all the bugs. It's because it's dry enough. These are well below 12%. Now, when it comes to the protein numbers, when you're talking about 6 to 8%, that's great for an amazing, pastry. If you get to 8 to 10% protein levels, it's great for a fluffy cake. 10 to 12% is great for all-purpose flour because you can use it for pastries and cakes and for breads and everything else. 12 and above is great for a hearty bread. Ours are 14 and above. Amazing. Okay. Then you have the what's called the bushel weight, which is 60 pounds. It means you have a very plump, healthy kernel. Ours are all over 60 pounds, which is amazing. And then you have a thing called a falling number, which nobody knows about. What a falling number is in the industry, if somebody has wheat and it's ready to be picked and somebody doesn't pick it, then the sprinklers go on or it rains a few times and there's a coating over the wheat, and once that coating's done, it starts actually sprouting on the stalk, and then it dries up and now you can't plant that again because it's already ruined, but also it has toxins in it at that point. What happens in the industry is a lot of people, there's a falling number, and 496 is perfect. That means that there's no sprouting damage at all. Okay. You can take that wheat and throw it in the ground, it's all going to grow. That's called seed wheat, because it has to be resold to the farmers rather than table wheat, which is what you eat, which isn't as good as seed wheat. Now, table wheat, they try to keep the level at 300 or above on the falling number. Anything below that, they throw to the pigs basically, but 300 is what they try to keep it at. A lot of people will take something higher and something lower, mix it together, get to 300. Take a higher percentage moisture, lower percentage, get it to 12%. We don't do that. We do one crop, do it right the first time. Our falling numbers are 496. We have a perfect wheat. We have to make room in our warehouse right now for you guys for all the foods we're bringing in. So we're selling that wheat at basically break even for us. So if anybody wants wheat, I would get it, and it's on there, and you get free shipping with that, which shipping is like $400 or $500 or more sometimes for us, and you get that included. So I want to throw that in. The last thing I would like to put in is I want to show this to you guys and get your opinions. I'll pull it up real quick. This right here, actually, before I do, the Thrivalist course is the big course. That's the one that I literally spent 4,000 hours on putting together so that you don't have to spend 20,000 hours learning all this stuff. You can get better prepared with the Thrivalist course in 90 days or less. A lot of people do it in 30 days. But 90 days or less, you can get better prepared with this than you could get prepared in 10 to 15 years. That's how good this course is. This is the workbook for the course, and I'll show you guys what I just brought over. I just brought it over to your guys' platform. So it's just very simple. It's not, it's nothing really super fancy or anything like that, but I'll just see if I can pull it up for you guys. If I can do it, hold on a second. Let's go to Portal, Thrivalist. I think this will pull up my admin one. If I can pull this up, yes. So I'll just go inside here. and get into the courses, right here, if you open this up, we sell this course anywhere from 3,000 on the low end to $12,000 on the high end for different parts of the course. This right here gives you a feel. It's 7 steps. It's all sequential. You get mindset right here. You got risk assessment that saves you tons of time. Surviving sudden emergencies. Most courses are built only on this part alone right here. And I'm giving you, this is most people's courses, just our step number 2. Water preparedness, where you'll learn more about water preparedness than anything else so quickly. Food preparedness, same thing. Meet your other needs, which goes into home security and self-defense and first aid and medical and temperature regulation and fuel sources, emergency lighting, alternative power, power banks, disease prevention, hygiene, cleaning, just a whole bunch of things that you need for long-term emergency preparedness is right in here. And it teaches you the right stuff the first time. Again, you're not going to find this on YouTube. You're not going to find this in ChatGPT. It's stuff I had to learn. Maintain your standard of living, how to prepare against hyperinflation. I lived in Brazil for about 2 years. During that time, it was over 50,000% inflation over those 2 years. And I learned a lot about inflation and then help others prepare because you're only as prepared as your neighbor. And this is not stuff you find anywhere else because I teach you the ways to help people want to get prepared, even if they're not interested in preparedness right now. And so I teach a bunch of stuff in creating your community. This right here is on the low end, we sell for $3,000. That's what the 5-day challenge was meant to do, is to lead them to this right here. This right here, I've been considering, and I want to get your opinions. And if I say this, it's going to be dangerous because if I don't do it, I'm in trouble. But with this right here, I'll just show you one more time. With this right here, let's go to this, is locked at 297. What I'm thinking about doing is doing a September special where I bring it to $1,997. And if you finish it within 90 days, we give you $1,000 gift of food and other products in the mail as a incentive to get it done in 90 days or less. If we did something like that, do you think that would motivate people to do the course and throwing in the $50 workbook, throwing all this stuff in, they get it for life and everything else? Is that a good deal or not so good, or what are your thoughts on that? It's something we would do just for a little bit of time. But would that help you guys out? What are your thoughts? Probably a little bit too much of, or what? If I took $1,000 off and gave people $1,000 gift and for this. No feedback. So it might not be a good deal. So
Marcel, I think we're all just stunned. Like, you could get $1,000 of free food. Like, wait, what do we have to do? Like, what do you have to do?
yeah,
What? Say it again. Say it
just
again. As our
finish-
brains are processing what you just said.
there's a complete button when you finish the course. When you finish a video, you press complete that you've gone through it. You could do 2 times video speed, whatever. But we're giving the whole. Again, this is something we're selling for $12,000 all the way down to $3,000 on the cheapest end. We're throwing in the it's not even $50. It's $100 workbook. If you go to Amazon, this is $100. Okay, so it's $100 workbook you're getting for free. You're getting the whole emergency preparedness course that literally saves you about 5 to 10,000 hours of research, literally, and about $5 to 10,000 in mistakes easily. Okay, and you're getting that so it can streamline your preparedness super fast. It's not that it's a huge, gigantic course, like it's going to take forever. It is so streamlined. It's like the story of the famous writer who said, "Sorry for the long letter. If I had more time, it would have been shorter." That's what I did with the course. I made it super streamlined. But we're giving that course for life. Okay. The $3,000 course. I'm thinking about taking $1,000 off for a few weeks, letting people get it for $2,000. And if they finish it within 90 days, they get $1,000 worth of supplies in the mail in this box full of food and other supplies as a thank you for getting it done in 90 days or less to your family. And just a thank you that you did something. That's what I'm thinking about offering people, but it's just something I've been considering and I haven't really decided yet. I wanted to get you
So
guys.
Holly, so at the end of 90 days, you put out the 2,900 for the course,
Yeah.
and you get back $1,000, so your sunk cost is 1,000.
You finish it in 1 week, you get that $1,000 back. The only thing I'm saying is finish it. Get through it. I'll throw in a t-shirt if you finish the introduction, which takes just a couple hours or an hour maybe. And I'll throw in a t-shirt to anyone who finishes, just get started. Just go to the gym the first day of January, right? First day of January, just getting in the gym is the hardest thing. Just start it. And if you finish that, just remind me, I'll give you a t-shirt. And anything to get you going. I want to help families get prepared. This is my mission. It's what I want to do. But my thoughts are, how do I get people into the emergency stuff that's really going to help their family before a bomb goes off in New York, right? And then everybody runs and gets all the toilet paper again, right? And so that's the idea I had. And this is probably a bad place to put it because you're recording it, but it was just something I thought, and I thought I'd throw this out to the group. And plus, everything we do is 30-day money back guarantee with these courses. If people don't like it, I give them their money back. There's no risk in this. We always make it super easy for people.
Well, I think that lowering the price is always going to be a good thing, but lowering it as a special that would only be temporary is more of an incentive than if you just lower it and they don't know that it's a special price.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So,
thinking too. It
so
would
I
be
think
it would be a special only because our course is not cheap.
right. So then we could advertise it as a short-term uh, special. Also, somebody here, Angela, is asking how many hours of coursework is it?
I haven't counted the hours. You got to remember, this is your course, not mine.
Didn't you
So when
say
you
it's
go,
like it's 20,
it,
22 videos or something like that?
no, there's 296 videos in there.
Oh, that was the free one was the 22 videos.
Yeah, I was like 25. I don't
Okay.
remember how many it was. But 296. So what happens is you don't have to get through all 296. Okay. You just need to get in there and learn what you need to. I want you to go through, like when you get to risk assessment, if you don't live near the ocean, don't watch the video on tsunamis unless you really want to, right? What I tell people is pick two out of the 20 plus different scenarios, pick at least 3 to 5 of them and study those. But what I'm trying to say is learn the information. Like you will learn just by going through my water portion, food portion, any of those portions, you will learn more in like 4 or 5 hours than you could if you were to try to learn it for 100 hours on the internet easily. So Sherry.
So to get the $1,000 worth of supplies, they wouldn't have to complete every part of that course. They would have to pick 2 or 3 or something and then say they completed it
No,
or
you'd have to go through all the different sections, but you would have to follow my instructions. So when I get to Thrivalist step number 2, and I'll show you this, and I know we're at the hour, so I want to be respectful. So I'll just show you guys really quickly. Thrivalist, if you look at this real quick, do you see how this is the introduction? You can get this done super fast. That's the introduction. But I have these little extra videos here that people sometimes want to watch extra videos. But when you get to the risk assessment, this is the biggest section. This is where you don't have to go through everything because I tell people go through the introduction, go through personal risks because that pertains to everyone. I would recommend you go through fires. But if you wanted to learn more about fires, there's some really good resources here that'll teach you a ton of stuff. You don't have to go through all those. You get to earthquakes, a whole bunch of resources here that'll help you out, but you don't have to go through all those. So what I'm saying is be smart with your time, but don't skirt it. The reason I'm doing this is to help you get prepared. I'm not going to give it to people for free. It's people who pay attention, right? If I've given this to people for a couple $100 in the past and they don't get it done because it was too cheap. It hurts. If it hurts enough, people are motivated. That's what I've learned. So people who pay attention. So the biggest disservice I can give is give it to people for free, just like I've been giving the VIP course and the other stuff, because I guarantee you a lot of people won't work for it. The best thing I can do is to make people work for this big course. And when you get to this, you'll notice once you get past the risk assessment, the rest of the stuff isn't super long, but it's super deep. And you get to water preparedness, and you can get through water preparedness pretty quickly. See that? That's not very long, but it's deep. Okay. And you get to the food preparedness. This is going to go into a lot of principles, right? Right there. And you get through it, you're done, right? And so it's really good stuff. So what I'm telling people is get through each of the sections. When you get to risk assessment, you don't have to do everything. Pick 3 to 5 of these at least that you're interested in and then go deep on those things. But I tell you what to do in the introductions. I tell you, okay, you need to do this. Go through this, right? I tell you what to do. Go through it and don't skirt it. It's on your honor because in my other in my other platform, it actually you had to get 1,000 points, and you had to there was a clock a clock that gave you so much time. I'm not putting this on here yet. I'm letting people do it on their honor. And if they get that done on their honor, I'm willing to compensate them for that, for actually taking something, making a move, right?
Well, I hope you guys see why I fell in love with this program and his products and his mind. This I, I feel like I'm at my new home. And thank you, Marcelo, for taking time. I know you're crazy, insanely busy, especially with a lot of things happening. Appreciate you taking the time. If anybody has any last minute questions, get them out. Otherwise, we're going to end the call and save the recording.
And Holly, you had one. Holly, are you good? Or did you still have a question?
Holly, you had your hand up a while ago. Did you get your answer? She might be gone.
Yeah, and I'm learning from this conversation. If I'm going to tell people about this offer, it's going to be really too hard to explain. I don't know if it's the best offer for people.
Okay.
But it was good for me to kick it past you guys. And if you guys think of a better way to do it, then let me know.
There you are, Holly. Did you have another question?
I
No?
think she's frozen.
Okay.
Oops. Holly, it's frozen. I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, we hear a little blip. That's all we hear. Any other folks on here that have something they want to get in? Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up.
Lynn has a question.
Lynn, go ahead.
I do. What about people that are gluten free?
We have a ton of gluten free. And we have just gone through the certification to do everything we need to become certified gluten free. We basically are doing it already, so it was pretty easy.
And cross contamination isn't an issue?
Not at all. No, the way we do things, we are so clean. We wash everything down that when we talk to the certification center for gluten free, they said, "Wow, you're already doing everything."
Okay.
And we're very careful on taking care of people.
Okay, thanks.
I'm going to say I hope you'll revisit the offer for that course because it looks absolutely amazing. I just know there's a whole bunch of us on here that just lost our full-time jobs and we're just trying to get started again.
Yeah.
So maybe in a couple months when we're all rocking the business again, you might offer that again because I think it's a great offer.
I agree.
Okay. Let me consider it. I think what I learned from this, you guys were my test subjects. What I learned is I need to put together a what's called a VSL, a video sales letter that explains everything and makes it super easy for people to read it and understand and everything else. And I think because people they will not understand the value of it unless they get in and take it. Like when you look at this, and I'll just wrap this up by this right here. Let me share again. I'm going to go into how we had it set up in our other system with the timer so you guys can see it. But if you look at this right here, this is the course in the other system. Let's go to Thrivalist Master Course. This is what it looked like before we moved it over to you guys' system. And if you go into this right here and just go into all training, and you can see the different trainings right there. If you go down to the bottom, I did not solicit one person, not one person right here. And you'll notice, look how many people are talking about this. My house flooded, really enjoyed this course. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. I have no words. You have, you have used your God-given talents to share this stuff. Lori Tubbs, this is the chief nutritionist for the Navy SEALs, one of the most valuable teachings and understandings of thriving while surviving. This stuff, I did not solicit it, and it just goes on and on and on and on. That's, tells you about the course. Does that make sense? That was unsolicited, but that's how well it can help people out. I know it can help people out. I need to figure out how to motivate people to actually finish it, and I can't do that by giving it free.
All right. Well, let's end this call and save this video. And thank you everybody for participating, being on the call. It is a form of participating. Appreciate you doing it. If you have more questions, you can. Oh, somebody's got a hand up. Sherlock, get your hands up.
It was just to say goodbye.
Oh.
Thanks for everything. This was awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, we're ending the call. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.